Hey y'all, it's Ashley here at the Realm of Comics. This is where we talk everything comics, manga, and graphic novels. And today I am here to talk a little bit about my plans for the channel in 2023. So if you didn't know, this channel is fairly new. I just started it maybe August-ish, September of last year. So we are not even 6 months into this channel. And so thank you all for your support and your comments and for watching this channel, considering that I haven't even been here for 6 months yet, but it does feel good to finally be like on this channel and having some content creation go on here. And so what I wanted to talk about today, which is not going to be a really long video because I don't have a super extended long list of what I'm going to do on this channel. Like there isn't this like long drawn out thing. I didn't even do any of that on my other channel. I think I had maybe like 5 or 6 like hard set goals that I wanted to follow, and that was it. And it's pretty much the same here, just a few goals that I want to go over with you. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So the first goal that I have here is I want to do a 20 by 20 by 20. I know for my January reading plans I did a 5 by 5 by 5, which just worked out. It was just super convenient for me to think about doing it in a 5 by 5 by 5 because yeah, such is life. It is what it is. Anyway, what I wanted to do is focus on reading 20 comics, 20 graphic novels, and 20 manga for 2023. Do I think that I'm going to read more than that? Absolutely. This year I am going to be doing, because listen, the 20 manga already is going to be kind of knocked out the park because I'm already participating in 2 kind of read-alongs. One is formal, one is more on the informal side that I've kind of discussed with a couple of people that I'm cool with in the community. And so the first one of those is the Yona read-along, which technically I'm already behind because we were supposed to read volume 1 last week, and I don't know how it slipped my knowledge that this Yona read-along was happening. I feel like Izzy and Shay had talked about this last year, and I kind of knew, but then I missed the announcement. I just don't know how it happened because I consume their content like I need it to survive. So I'm not sure how I missed it. I think it must have just been during that period where I was just kind of like in a slog with everything and life has been kind of throwing punches at me. So I think that's probably how I missed it. But either way, Mark, Shay, and Izzy are all doing a Yona read along, and I'll make sure I link all of their channels down in the description box below. And so I want to participate in that. And Yona already is, I think, 30 plus volumes if I'm not mistaken at this point. So Yona alone, it takes the cake in knocking out my 20 volumes of my 20 volumes of manga that I want to read this year. Also, I have talked to Shay, I've also talked to Chris, and I wanted to also try to work my way through One Piece this year, which is a big thing to take on, but Shay and I have talked about it, and 2 volumes a week is doable. The 2 volumes a week just means that we would be reaching that 100 mark by the end of the year. I do not plan on buying One Piece or any of that. I just am in a different financial position in terms of this economy is something serious, and so everything is more expensive, and so I'm trying to be more conscious of my spending habits, especially when it comes to books. My library has all of One Piece, or at least most of it, and if there are copies that I can't get, then I can read it on the Shonen Jump app, which perfect. I love that for me. Yona, I think that my library has most of Yona. The only volume that they don't have is volume 2, so I am going to have to purchase volume 2, but I'm going to read it digitally because I think it's kind of hard to get your hands on a physical copy right now. The rest of it I will be reading once again from the library, so that solves all of those problems. And that also takes care of that idea of that I will be reading only 20 volumes of manga this year. Clearly it's going to be more. The 20 comics, I usually read 4 or 5 sometimes in a sit down, so it's not unrealistic for me to read 20 comics. Now, I didn't really specify whether these would be single issues or trades. I kind of left it out in the open, so that 20 can be fulfilled either way. It doesn't matter how I look at it. And then the 20 graphic novels, which I've already read a handful this month. I think I've already read maybe 1 or 2 this month so far. Don't listen, I'm trying to figure the things out in my head here, and it's just not, it's not happening. But I've already read some this year, and of course the Realm of Comics book club is definitely going to help with both the comic and the graphic novel. If you didn't know, Bree and I from the Lock Petition, we run a comic book club here on this channel called the Realm of Comics book club, and so I have made an announcement video announcing all of the selections for the year. I'll make sure I link that video up in the card symbol above. For the month of January, we're reading 3 volumes of Radiant Black, so that already knocks out 3 of the 20 that I'm supposed to be reading, so that makes me feel great, warm and fuzzy on the inside. Yes, wonderful things happening. The second thing that I want to do is focus on doing some vlogs over on this channel. Now, have I decided the format of the vlogs and what I want to focus on? Not necessarily, but there's one project that I had left over from last year that I want to carry to this year because I didn't get to work on it the way that I wanted to work on it, and that is my comparison of runs of Batman by James Tynion, Tom King, and also Scott Snyder. So I know that I think, is it Williamson who's picked up Batman now? Don't quote me, y'all. I'm just, please don't quote me. But what I want to do is work my way through each one of those runs and do a vlog for each one, and then do a discussion video doing a comparing and contrasting. So that is one project that I know for a fact that I do want to do. I also want to do some like kind of like author illustrator type of focuses where like I go through and I read an extensive backlist of an author or an illustrator, and I give you kind of some places to start, give you some reviews of some of the work that they've done, stuff like that. I also did last year, which I want to carry over to this year. I don't know how often I will do it, but I did a first impressions last year, which it was a spooky / horror first impressions where I read Chainsaw Man and Alice in Borderland for the first time, and I gave my first impressions on both of those #1 volumes. So I would definitely want to do something like that. Another video idea that I wanted to keep up, which I think a lot of people do appreciate, is recommendation video. So I do end up reading a lot of comics and graphic novels. I've read a lot in the past. I'm working on building up my manga repertoire, and I would love to be able to give people more thematic recommendations. I just recently did a recommendation video where I focus on all of the, well, not all of this, because definitely not all the middle grade graphic novels that I read, but I picked 10 middle grade graphic novels and I did a recommendation video for that. So I would love to continue doing that in the future as well, because I think it's beneficial to everyone in the community. And so those are kind of some of the video ideas that I have in my head. I don't want to push myself too much, but I have one other one, but I'm thinking about how I want to do that, so I'm going to keep that one to myself for a little while. But there is another one that I am thinking about, actively thinking about, that I think will be rather fun to kind of do. In terms of posting on this channel, I was going for 3 times a week last year, but I know that towards the end of the year is when we feel the stress of everything that's happened all year long, and so I kind of pulled back on doing that, and I was not posting 3 times a week. I think realistically I can post 2 times a week on this channel, because I do have my other channel, and on my other channel I am realistically posting 2 times a week. If I do get more out than 2 times a week, I'm happy about that, but I am actively thinking about, as long as I get 2 videos out on that channel a week, that makes me happy. And I kind of want to carry the same energy over here. 2 times a week I think is realistic. It's not like it's too much, it's not unrealistic expectations, so I think that that will be best for me to carry over. And honestly, like I said, this wasn't going to be a long list of drawn out goals, because I think when I personally make too much goals, that's when I stop fulfilling my goals. But one of my other goals is to read what I fucking own. If you can zoom out of the pen. There you go. So now my camera is focusing on the shelves. I need to read this stuff, all of this stuff that I own. I have not read a great portion of the stuff that is on those 2 shelves. And I have found that I have been buying a lot of manga, I have been buying a lot of graphic novels, and a lot of comics, and I have not been reading them. And what I do is I like to go to the library and check out all this stuff digitally, or check out stuff physically and read all that stuff, and I don't read what I own. It's the same thing with my book collection. I read like a wizard from the library. and everything else, but I have a tough time picking up stuff from my own collection. And so the same way that I'm focusing on my collection in that area this year, I want to do the same in my collection, in my graphic novels, comics, and manga as well. So the aim is just to read from my own collection. I have not set a goal or percentage for either, because I don't want to create that kind of goal and then get defeated when I don't reach it. So the goal is just to pick up as much as I can, and I've been more actively aware of it so far in these first couple of weeks of January than I have been in the past. I'm very hyper aware now. I don't know what happened or what shift happened once we crossed into this new year, but I just became actively aware of the fact that holy shit, I have a lot. Even in my comics, my graphic novels, and my manga, I have a lot. And it's easy to get caught up in the hoopla of wanting to buy and keep up with the Joneses and not read what you own. And honestly, in this economy, I can't afford to do that. I cannot afford to do that. I can read all of my stuff. If I want to continue to read more, I can check it out from the library. And when I'm in a different financial spot, that's when I can go and do, you know, back buying, you know. So sorry for the siren. All right, y'all, so those are my goals for 2023. In the comments below, let me know if you have any goals or wishes or ambitions as it applies to comics, graphic novels, and manga. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification. If you are looking for ways to follow me on social media, all the links will be down in the description box below, and I'll be back with another video soon.